YouTube, what is good, bruv gang, what is good, and we are back with another video. Heading into 2024, there were a plethora of massive JRPGs set to release, and so far we've had an insane start to the year with some notable big hitters releasing such as Granblue Fantasy Relink, Persona 3 Reload and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, just to name a few. Now back in early December of 2023, I had made a video of my top 6 most anticipated JRPGs coming in 2024, which I will be leaving a card to on screen. Now of all the games that I mentioned on that list, one game I left out and I was essentially on the fence about and pretty much knew very little about other than the game being developed by one of my favourite developers in Vanillawares was a tactical RPG by the wacky name of Unicorn Overlord. Just based off the art style alone, which has that beautiful signature 2D hand-drawn art style that Vanillawares are so well known for, this game was of interest to me, but just going off the very little I had seen from the gameplay, it wasn't a game I could say I was highly anticipating going into 2024 or even worth purchasing day one. I think what really changed my perspective on Unicorn Overlord was the demo Atlus had released towards the back end of February, and if you are up on JRPG releases, you would know how insane of a month February was for us JRPG fans, with the notable big 3 hitters and coincidentally my top 3 most anticipated JRPGs of the year releasing in Granblue Fantasy Relink, Persona 3 Reload and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I think the move from Atlus to make this a 7-hour demo with all progress carrying over to the full game was a genius idea, which would really allow the player to grasp exactly what this game was about and what the game had to offer, and ultimately lead to the player being able to decide with the sheer length of the demo whether this game was worth purchasing or not. So as mentioned, I'd only really looked at small snippets of gameplay, and the beautiful signature Vanillawares art style was enough to draw me in, so I essentially went into this demo as a blank canvas, and man oh man am I ever glad I approached a game like this. Right from the opening of the demo, the story immediately had me hooked. As I will likely keep mentioning throughout the duration of this video, the art style is something that really pulls me in and I think plays a massive role in my attachment and engagement towards the story and characters. So the gameplay within Unicorn Overlord has garnered many a comparison, with the standout 2 games being a cross between Ogre Battle 64, a game that I've never played but heard nothing but great things about, and one of my favourite tactical JRPGs in Tactics Ogre. So from what I've seen of Ogre Battle 64, you can see Unicorn Overlord is very inspired by it, and with good reason too, and was honestly a game that was way ahead of its time. Honestly, the tactical RPG genre hasn't seen too many games on the same level as Ogre Battle 64, so Unicorn Overlord really serves as that modern day fill-in for a niche genre that doesn't see too many releases, and also to the level of success that Unicorn Overlord is seeing. So if you are someone who doesn't have much experience within the tactical RPG genre, on the surface level, without having played anything, Unicorn Overlord could seem like a game that doesn't offer much in the way of battle engagement, as battles essentially play out by themselves and exchanges between you and enemy units are based on stats. I think the beauty of Unicorn Overlord's gameplay loop is the flexibility the game offers. Being able to create maximum squad sizes comprised of up to 5 units with over 60 plus unique classes, mixing up your units really makes for unique ways to take down levels and enemies. This means that there is really no right or wrong way to play the game, and I feel the game does a great job at balancing out difficulty throughout, allowing you to customize units how you see fit. Now as mentioned, battles are automatically done by the computer, but this isn't to say that all battles are based on just pure stats alone and your fate is in the hands of the game. The game does an incredible job at being able to issue specific and individual tactics to each unit within a squad. So for example, you could have a hoplite, which is essentially your tank unit. They are great at sitting in the front line and protecting your DPS dealers that may either be in the front line or your healers in the back line. So each unit has unique actions that can be added within the tactics menu. And this is also coupled with the fact that some weapons and different equipment have unique actions that are automatically set on them that can be issued as tactics. So each tactic comes with a condition, and the list of options that can be issued within the conditions menu is endless. So as mentioned, for example, we have a hoplite, which is essentially your tank unit, and they have an action that allows them to protect units with their great shield against ranged attacks like archers raining down on your backline with arrows. The game is so in depth to the point that you can set this specific action in the conditions menu to activate when said conditions are met. Like an ally being at a specific target of HP, the action and conditions you set in the tactics menu previously will activate. This means the game isn't just solely based on numbers, and there is a level of control the player has in terms of how to turn the tide of battle and swing engagements within your favour. Honestly, the gameplay loop within Unicorn Overlord is so fun, and always has you thinking about ways to approach a battle. So every stage within the game has a time limit, but this time limit never ever makes you feel hurried or rushed, as the game does a fantastic job at level pacing, meaning you can always clear enemies and meet the objectives of said level. So as mentioned, the gameplay loop is honestly something that left me shocked with how fun it is. Maybe to a casual or newer fan, tactical RPGs could seem stressful, but I feel this game does a fantastic job at being veteran, casual and newcomer friendly and welcomes all players whatever their skill or experience level within the genre is. Now for me personally, I think what makes Unicorn Overlord's gameplay loop so fun is the fact that at times what felt like a few minutes turned into 4 to 5 hour sessions, and a lot of the time I've spent on the game has just been in the menus, messing with squad compositions, fine tuning each unit's equipment, or messing around in the tactics menus and having mock battles against the AI just to see how effective my team composition and tactics matched up. Now one thing I look for whenever I am playing games, and with JRPGs in particular, is a great soundtrack. And man oh man does the soundtrack do an amazing job at conveying the hardships of war, but also matching the tone of the world, capturing the weight and emotion of emotional scenes, and overall just having so much variety throughout. Now evidently I am no musical expert, but from someone who loves video game music, I love how each score within the game is composed. As mentioned, the composer's done an incredible job at capturing the tone of the world in each region you visit, which really adds to your experience as a whole. The soundtrack is honestly something I find myself randomly whistling and listening to on the way to work, which in my opinion is the sign of an incredible soundtrack. Now where Persona 3 Reload for me still has the best soundtrack of the year, as I am a huge sucker for Persona music, Unicorn Overlord's OST is 100% worthy of a mention for soundtrack of the year. I think one thing a lot of tactical RPGs with a medieval war type setting have been known for is the prototypical Shakespearean-esque writing and dialogue. So what I mean by this is characters talking extremely formally, for example using a word like thou, which of course matches the tone of the times the games are centered around, but at times can put people off of maybe connecting with characters, but maybe just understanding the story as a whole. For me, Unicorn Overlord does a great job for its writing at being very modern, but also having that medieval type of feel for its dialogue. So for the most part, characters talk and interact with each other in a modern way. This style of writing honestly has meant although the pool of characters is deep within the game, each character feels more memorable, and doing things like watching bond moments between characters feels more endearing and realistic. Now the pool of characters within Unicorn Overlord is deep, but for me, so far where I'm currently at in the game, I honestly can say that I don't feel I've encountered one bad character. Each has their own unique personality and fleshed out backstories that stand out from one another. Even within bond moments and cutscenes, characters all bounce off each other so well. I think the fact that all characters feel unique and memorable again goes down to the incredible writing within this game, but not only that, it has to be said that the voice cast done an amazing job at making these characters feel so alive, even down to units you can recruit that may not have a major role in the story in the way of dialogue. They all feel like they are part of your army, and again this is down to the stellar work the voice acting team have done. For me personally, seeing the success story of Unicorn Overlord has done nothing but bring a smile to my face. After seeing after the first week of the game's launch that the devs had essentially run out of budget towards the end of the development process, and to see the product they have put together, it honestly is an insane achievement. Unicorn Overlord's achievements thus far in today's economy of gaming, where we see a lot of games with insanely huge budgets put together half-assed efforts, or games that are filled with bugs, patches, DLC, and just an overall unfinished lazy product, which a lot of the time affects people's experiences with these games no matter how well they may or may not have been received. Unicorn Overlord and its development team are a real testament as to what you can put together when people care. Working on a small budget is not easy, but to see the product they have put together and are now reaping the rewards of this, where it was recently announced they had sold over 500,000 units, through all the behind the scenes issues us as the players may not have seen, this is a huge win for Vanillaware and can only mean they are in a position to continue their incredible work in the foreseeable future. So to close this video out, I kinda just wanted to talk about the personal impact that Unicorn Overlord has had on me. Personally, I have been dealing with a few mental struggles which I have gotten over the hump with, but Unicorn Overlord, strangely over a game like Persona 3 Reload for example, is a game that has really done wonders for my mental state, and I honestly can't quite put my finger on why. As mentioned previously, Vanillawares' signature art style is something that really makes me feel a sense of attachment and engagement, and it's something I really felt when playing another title made by them in 30 Sentinels Aegis Rim, which really gave me that warm and endearing feel throughout my time with that game, and it's currently giving me the same feel with Unicorn Overlord. Now although I am yet to complete Unicorn Overlord, as I am taking my time and genuinely just enjoying my overall experience, I can honestly say this is a game that has 100% far exceeded my expectations. I really wasn't expecting the game to be as good as it's been so far. With so many insanely good JRPGs I am highly anticipating set to release, Unicorn Overlord has been a game that has flown completely under the radar and turned into my JRPG of the year so far in 2024. So for me personally, Unicorn Overlord is a game I find myself constantly talking about or thinking about. As mentioned, there is a 7-hour demo of this game, so if this video has inspired you to check it out or maybe even skip the demo altogether and buy the full game, honestly do yourself a favour and check out one of the most underrated JRPG masterpieces of 2024. So that'll do it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys for listening to me ramble on about this incredible game. I'd also love to know your thoughts on Unicorn Overlord and whether this is a game you have either played or are interested in playing, so please let me know down below in the comments. So as always, please like, sub, share if you're new, hit that notification bell to get notified of my videos first, and I hope I can be you guys' #1 source for all JRPG news. So from me too, this has been your bruv, Deep Big Bruv, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. I'm out. Peace.